My First Two Loves, Chapter 78, gut check. Now, playing as Ava. On the first day of the new year, I woke up feeling almost drunk with happiness. It was the only way to describe the giddiness, the after effects of one of the best nights of my life. I saw you kiss Bela, and I felt overwhelmed, because deep down I wished it was me instead. Emma. But I've never had feelings for a girl before, so I tried to pretend what I'm feeling is just friendship, but Ava, I'm in love with you, and I'm just so sorry it took me so long to finally admit it. And as the clock struck midnight, she'd kissed me. Soft, sweet, and passionate. I still couldn't believe it had happened. Emma Price told me she loved me, and after everyone had gone home, well, I pressed my face into the bedsheets, breathing in her scent. If I closed my eyes, it was just like the night had never ended. Sure, relive the after party. After the last guest left, Emma and I lounged on my parents' rooftop, snuggling in the cold air. Alone at last. It's about time. Finally, you're all mine. Her eyes flashed from my eyes to my lips and back again, betraying her intentions, and her bottom lip caught between her teeth. A thrill of excitement shot through me as I imagined it in my mouth instead, soft against my tongue, and then it hit me. I didn't have to wonder, not anymore. If I'm all yours, prove it. Is that a dare? All I'm saying is talk is cheap. You've got guts to say it, but can you back it up? Again, her eyes flashed to my lips, and as she leaned in, I fought to keep my breathing slow and steady. You tell me. Emma leaned forward until our lips were less than a hair away. Her breath washed over me, and her fingertips grazed my face, cupping my jaw and setting my skin on fire. Emma. Finally, she brushed her lips against mine, and the feather-light touch stoked the fire in the pit of my stomach. She pressed her lips to mine and again, each kiss softer than the last, until I surged forward, claiming her lips in desperation. Emma coaxed my mouth open before teasing her tongue inside, and I reveled in the taste of her as she backed me down to the couch cushions. Oh. Her lips found my ear in a whisper. Now, if you weren't mine, could I make you do all that? Touché. I pulled back to look at her. This was what I'd been waiting for. It was finally happening, but still, I wanted more. As fun as this is, the real after-party's in my room, if you want to come. Emma's eyebrows shot up, and immediately my skin grew hot as I realized the unintended meaning. I meant, I know what you meant, and my answer is yes for both. We climbed out of each other's embraces, and as I led the way, Emma reached for my hand, lacing her fingers in mine. I pushed the door to my room open with my heart in my throat. It was exactly the same, but somehow it felt different with Emma in it. As she sat on the edge of my bed, I could tell she felt the change too. I almost can't believe this is happening. I mean, I've been in this bed a million times for sleepovers and after games, but you never imagined you'd be in it with me? Not until recently. I sat beside her and took her face in my hands. Hey, I know today was a lot. You've had to rethink your whole identity. We don't have to do anything you're not ready for. Say the word and you can catch up on America's Most Eligible reruns and cuddle. Trust me, I'm ready. I want to start slow, okay? Then how's this? Guess from head to toe. I took her face in my hands and slowly pressed a kiss against her forehead, the tip of her nose and her lips before tilting her head back. So far, I'm a fan. Shh, you're gonna miss the best part. I kissed down her neck, approaching the swell of her chest and followed the outline of her dress, leaving her wriggling for attention. Take it off. Only if you're sure. Without waiting for me, Emma slipped the straps of her dress down her shoulders, and as it fell to her hips, she slid further up in the bed, kicking it off in the process. Of course, I'm sure you missed some spots. Silly me. After shedding my clothes and crawling after her, intent on kissing every square inch, in a tangle of arms and legs, we fell back against the mattress, the feel of her bare skin against mine heightening our every move. Ava, I don't know what to... I mean, I've never... I silenced her insecurities with a burning kiss before pressing my forehead to hers. Relax, there aren't any rules here. It's just about doing what feels good. The best way to figure that out is to practice, practice, practice. Now, if only there was someone you could practice on. Emma gazed at me with hungry eyes before crawling on top, pushing me down into the bed. Tell me if you want me to do something different, okay? I'll walk you through it, but I don't think... Before I had even finished, Emma lowered her head to my chest, nipping gently, and suddenly a jolt of pleasure made my toes curl. Her fingers traveled down my belly, toying with my waistband before easing beneath it. Emma... I pulled back to stare into Emma's deliriously happy face. I couldn't believe she was actually here in my bed. You are so beautiful. In response, she pressed a kiss into my bare shoulder, and as I groaned low in her ear, she said my new favorite words. Let's do that again. I woke up the next morning convinced that nothing could be wrong with the world again. Eva! So when I bounded down the stairs to the kitchen, and the last thing I expected to see was my parents sitting stone-faced at the kitchen table. Good morning? That depends on your definition of good. Do you have any idea how disappointed we are? Well, you didn't clean up. I could definitely be upset with the balloons. Papa... The party wasn't that bad. No one crapped on the blades on the ceiling fan this time, and I actually think the car looks better now. What'd they do to the car? Before you dig yourself an even deeper hole, maybe you should take a look at what came in the mail today. She gestured at the far end of the table. Envelope, open it. Dear Miss Lawrence, we've written numerous times about your enrollment deposit. Oops. Oops. Then really all you have to say for yourself. I gave you that check weeks ago. Ava, you're going to college. We won't always be around to check the mail. You gotta be more responsible than this. I know, Mama, and I'm sorry. I meant to do it, I just forgot. I hadn't actually, but I forgot was an easier pill to swallow than I don't think I want to go to you and Papa's alma mater. Or any matter, for that matter. My parents were textbooks upper middle class. They had master's degrees, inheritances, stock portfolios. Lucky upper middle class, I'm just gonna say. And they'd use it all to give me every opportunity to succeed in life. How was I supposed to tell them that I was considering throwing it all away? Mama pushed her chair back from the table with a scrape and wrapped me in a hug. Not to worry, love bug. Papa and I still know some people in the bursar's office, and I'm sure they can fudge the deadline a bit. And you'll have to drop the check off in person today, Ava. There'll be no more chances after this. I'll go now. That's my girl. See, Paul? Crisis averted. Now can we please have some breakfast? Oh, boy. After we sat down to eat, I tried to go to the campus. Come on, Ava. College won't be that bad. There are new experiences. It's where everyone meets their lifelong friends. Not always. But a flurry of legitimate concerns flooded my mind. But what's college without crippling debt? Bone-chilling homesickness! The fear that I'm inadequate. We'll go with that biggest fear. And though I did my best to beat them back, I'm an excellent student. They wouldn't have accepted me otherwise, and then again, 30% of students do drop out after the first semester. Ah, yeah, you should just be one that drops out now. The more I thought about taking that off-ramp, paying the fee, and hanging around the people, like the student I'd run into before the tour, well, the more I wanted to turn right around and go home. Screw it, I'm just gonna go march in the house, slap this check down, tell Mama and Papa I'm not college material. That I don't have a plan, or even a clue what I'm supposed to do with my life. With a sigh, I got off the highway and on a whim pulled over to a local park. Maybe some fresh air will clear my head. At the very least, it'll buy me some time to come up with some way to explain all this. I trudged over to a bench, and as I sat to people watch, I saw a little girl and a young man nearby dancing in the snow. Or trying to dance in the snow. The guy shimmied like he had a wedgie, then half-heartedly kicked his leg up, much to the embarrassment of the little girl, and from a distance I heard, "That's not how it goes!" I'm doing the best I can here, kid. Tell me the play again. Noah? After what happened at the party, Noah and I weren't exactly the best of friends, but the little girl looked frustrated, and he didn't look much better. Can you help us? My brother's shimmy is tragic. Ava, You don't have to. We'll figure it out eventually, right, Hazel? Are you kidding? You don't know your herky from your high kick and you just called choreo the play? It's really no big deal. Why don't I give a shot and show you what the moves should look like? Noah held his hands up at a truce and took my place on the bench, leaving me to turn my attention to Hazel. So what's the routine? It's a little tricky. First we wave at the audience. She waved and smiled at her brother before putting her hands on her hips and jumping into the first move. Then we shimmy and hold it. She poked at her tiny hip and her frame, her face with a spirit fingers, and I couldn't help but smile at the showmanship. Then we do this. It's called, power pose. Strike it. I planted my feet and copied her stance. Yeah, that's it. Power pose. And finally, we finish with a high kick. She grunted as she forced her leg as high as it would go and promptly landed right on her butt. But I can't even get it, Dad. It's just takes some practice and a little balance. You wind up your arm on the same side you kick with, and then I kick. I shot my leg into a high kick before popping it back down. Wow, you're so good! It's not hard. It's nothing but hard work and practice. Are you ready to put the moves together? Let's do it! She cued Noah to play the music, and right at the beat dropped, we launched into the choreography. First we wave. While Hazel beamed at her brother, I waved at an invisible audience. I called out the counts as we moved through the routine, encouraging Hazel along the way. That was a great shimmy, Hazel. Noah, did you see me? Yeah, I see you, kid. Finally, we got to the last move. Finished with a high kick. I caught Hazel watching me nervously and shot her a smile. We'll do it together. Ready? Wind up and kick! Together we kicked as high as we could before snapping our legs back down. I did it! That looked great to me. Why don't we round it out with some freestyle? Hopped off the bench and spun Hazel around. She giggled, and as soon as Noah set her down, she grinned at me. That was pretty fun. I wish you were my teacher. So do I, actually. And I'm in it. I hadn't had fun like that since Emma and I had cheered together freshman year, back when it was just about the love of the sport. We should get home, but thanks for taking the time to help out. You didn't have to, especially after, Don't sweat it. Believe it or not, you guys helped me too. Hazel headed over to the car, but Noah hung back and he let a moment pass between us before he spoke. Look, I get what Amos sees in you. You're good with her. I think you might even inspire her. I'm not trying to mark my territory or anything. At the end of the day, I just want Emma to be happy, but you should know I'm good for her too. And I'm not going anywhere until she tells me to. I respect that. As I watched him walk away, I felt dread settle deep in my stomach. I was no longer a question of whether Emma loved me, but whether that love could be enough to make her choose me. And the more I thought about it, the more I found myself wondering, what if it wasn't? So, I'm just gonna say, like, follow, or like, share, and subscribe, okay? And I'm just gonna say this. Oh, I doubt people listen anyway, but screw it. This book is a hot mess. This book is just a hot mess. We got forced love interest, then we play as the other side. Apparently it went even further than most people, or myself, expected. And the thing is it's all forced. It's all forced. There's no choice here. There's absolutely no choice. And I get it. Some people have tried to say, well, we understand your perspective, but at the same time, this is Pixelberry's way of saying and justifying that they wanted people to experience a girl discovering that she was open. And the thing is there's a time and a place for that. And literally the title and summary of this book has nothing to do with that. You can make people who want to go through that journey and have a purpose of that. We got a character that she supposedly opened up to, and I respect that. And, then we got a character who herself hasn't figured out anything. And everyone is sitting here, and the thing is Mason at least has some aspect of what he's doing. Noah has some aspect of what he's doing. And you have the MC and Ava, who are being forced together, have absolutely no clue what they're going to do. They have no clue about love. They have no clue about their jobs, their college, their future. They have no clue whatsoever. And I'm sitting here, and I don't know. It's the intellectual in me that's kind of perturbed by this. But I'm a person who sits here and I go, I'll do this and this and this, and then the hobbies, the gameplay, the gaming, all the other things will come secondary. Because imagine right now you have a choice. Your choice is to go work your job for 8 hours a day or play a video game. Well, you kind of need a roof over your head, you need electricity, you need heat or air, you need food, you need all these things. But would you choose gaming over that? And I get it, when you're 18 years old, for some of you, no, not all, some of you don't have that concept. You don't have that mentality about choosing those things. For whatever reason, you're either spoiled, you're entitled, or you know nothing about the outside world and you're sheltered. Or I don't know what else to say. For me, when I was in high school, I completed 4 years of high school and 2 years I was in college prep, tech prep, and there was no love for me. There was no, I mean, hell, look at it this way. I'd already lost the love of my life in a car accident, so, hey. But with that being said, I don't know. This book just makes, to me, no sense whatsoever. To me, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I know people in my community who are younger and as of young of these two characters here, if not all these characters, and they have their shit put more together than these characters in a book. I get it, it's a book, but I don't know. Catch you all later. Peace out.